Do you wish you sounded more like a native speaker? And do you wish you could understand natives in the real world as easily as you can understand your teacher in a classroom? In this masterclass, you'll do just that. You'll improve your listening skills of fast English, and you'll expand your vocabulary with the words and phrases that you need to sound fluent and natural. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started. You can understand me as an English teacher. Let's see if you can understand me as a native speaker. I'll say a sentence using natural vocabulary and fast native pronunciation to test your listening skills. I'll say it 3 times. Keep your eyes peeled for the street. Keep your eyes peeled for the street. Keep your eyes peeled for the street. So how'd you do? I said, keep your eyes peeled for the street. Now let's talk about those pronunciation changes. Keep your eyes peeled. Your can sound very unstressed. Your. Keep your eyes. Keep your eyes. And notice how your and eyes link together. You're going to hear that R sound on both sides of the word if we link them. Your eyes, your eyes. So the second word instead of eyes really sounds like rise because it has that R, but you have to say it together. Your eyes, your eyes. And of course, peeled, that ED is a soft D. Keep your eyes peeled, peeled. And for also becomes very unstressed, fur. Keep your eyes peeled for the street. Now notice you hear that R the most in the word street. Make sure you get that R sound, street. Now, do you understand what this means? To keep one's eyes peeled is an idiom. It means to stay alert and watch carefully. So carefully watch for the street so we don't miss it. Now you could say keep your eyes peeled for the client. Notice you use that preposition for and then something or someone. You can keep your eyes peeled, watch carefully for someone, the client. Now in this example, it's the imperative, which is used for an instruction or a direction. I could also say to you, keep your eyes peeled for any opportunities to practice your English. So remember, for and something, and in this case, the something is any opportunities to practice English. Watch carefully. So are you going to keep your eyes peeled for that? If you are, put that's right, put that's right in the comments. Now let's look at this sentence. She kept her eyes peeled for the trail markers during the hike. So remember, you need to conjugate your verb keep. In this case, it's the past simple, kept. She kept. And you have to make sure the possessive matches the subject. The subject is she, so it's her eyes peeled.
If you're ever in the neighborhood, keep your eyes peeled.
So keep your eyes peeled for the headlines that will bring it.
So while I don't have answers for you here, keep your eyes peeled.
Let's do this exercise again. I'll say it 3 times. Are we still on for tonight? Are we still on for tonight? Are we still on for tonight? Did you hear what I said? I said, are we still on for tonight? Notice how still and on link together, and you'll hear that L sound on. So it will sound like still on, still on, still on. Again, for can become fur, still on for tonight, da-da. So notice that syllable stress, the first syllable is unstressed, so to becomes that unstressed ta, and the night is your stressed syllable, tonight, da-da, tonight. Now, what does this mean? Well, this means that we made plans and I'm confirming that our plans are still happening. So this expression is used socially shortly before plans, maybe the day before or the night before, to confirm the person isn't going to cancel that plan. They're still going to go, to show up. So you could say, are we still on for lunch? Now notice for something. In this case, lunch is the plan we have. Now, you can use any time reference. You can say for lunch today, this afternoon, or tomorrow. And this is an alternative to simply asking, are we still having lunch today? So that's the activity, and then I can say, are we still on for lunch? Now, if the activity is known, I can simply say, are we still on for tomorrow if it's known that we're having lunch? So you can just use the time reference. You could also say, are we still on for studying English tomorrow? So the activity is studying English. Now, if I send you a text message and say, are we still on for tonight? You could reply back and say, yup, which is a casual way of saying yes, yup, can't wait. So show some enthusiasm. Or you can say, absolutely, see you at 7 p.m.
You're questioning, are we still on? The confident woman assumes that you're still on.
I'm great, thanks. Are we still on for the kayak trip?
Oh, you bet. I have the kayaks and the equipment.
Are you enjoying this lesson? If you are, then I want to tell you about the Finally Fluent Academy. This is my premium training program where we study native English speakers from TV, movies, YouTube, and the news so you can improve your listening skills of fast English, expand your vocabulary with natural expressions, and learn advanced grammar easily. Plus, you'll have me as your personal coach. You can look in the description for the link to learn more, or you can go to my website and click on Finally Fluent Academy. Now let's continue with our lesson. Let's try this exercise again. I'll say the sentence 3 times. Is a museum walkable? Is a museum walkable? Is a museum walkable? Ooh, did you get this one? Is the museum walkable? So let's talk about the pronunciation for museum. Z. So notice you have that voiced Z sound, museum. And there are 3 sounds, museum, museum, museum. And then the word that maybe you're not familiar with, walkable, walkable. So here there are 3 sounds, walkable. So notice that and then bull. It's not able, it's walkable, walkable. Now let's talk about a very useful word for you to know, to be walkable. So this means that something is close enough to be able to comfortably walk to the location. So is the museum close enough that we can walk there and not be exhausted or sweaty or feel really bad after we get there? Is the museum walkable? So if I send you a message and say, are we still on for lunch today? You could reply back and say, absolutely, but I only have 30 minutes. What's walkable? What's walkable? So what can we walk to quickly because we're short on time? Or I could say a new Thai restaurant opened last week, but I don't think it's walkable. So you can use I don't think, but to make walkable negative, remember it's the verb to be. So you would say, but it's not walkable, or it isn't walkable. There are 2 ways to form that contraction in the present simple. Walkable can be used in a different way, so listen to this sentence. One thing that makes New York City unique is how walkable it is. Most residents don't even own cars. So in this case, walkable is used to describe a geographical area. It can be a small area such as a neighborhood or a large area such as a city, and it means that it's easy to walk in that area.
It's walkable on top of our residential and commercial uses.
These are very different. These are in downtowns, walkable space, no drive-throughs.
They're banal, they're not sustainable, they're not walkable, they're certainly not beautiful.
Let's try this again. I'll say it 3 times. Let's head out early to beat the traffic. Let's head out early to beat the traffic. Let's head out early to beat the traffic. Did you get this one? I said, let's head out early to beat the traffic. Notice how head out combine together to sound like head out, doubt. So you hear that D sound on out, head out, head out. In the word early, you want that long R as well. Early. You want to make sure you hear that R. Early. Now, to beat, because to is a preposition, it becomes unstressed. To beat. To beat. And then traffic, you don't want to hear the R, you want to hear the vowel. Traffic. Traffic. And then beet is the same pronunciation as the vegetable beet. Now, do you know what the phrasal verb to head out means? Native speakers love using this phrasal verb. It means to leave a place or start a journey. So someone could ask you, what time are you heading out? What time are you leaving? But it's whatever place you're at. If you're at your home, it means your home. If you're at work or a restaurant, it means those locations. And then you can reply back and say, I'm heading out in the present continuous. I'm heading out around 6:30 a.m. so I can beat the traffic. Now notice here, I said, so I can beat, but in my example sentence originally, I said to beat the traffic. This is the short form of the purpose clause, in order to beat the traffic, but native speakers generally drop in order and just say to beat the traffic. Now, native speakers also commonly start sentences with a purpose clause. To beat the traffic, let's head out at 6:30 a.m. Remember, this means in order to beat. This is a purpose clause, it's not the infinitive, because in English grammar, we don't start sentences with the infinitive. To make a general statement, you would use the gerund verb. For example, beating the traffic in New York City is always a challenge. Of course, to beat the traffic, this means to avoid the traffic. And if you beat it, it means you get ahead of it. So you leave earlier or later to avoid it. You could also just take specific streets to beat the traffic, to avoid the traffic.
Everybody, let's head out to our areas.
Let's head out into the rainforest and see how she's doing.
Let's head out to the lake. I'll show you around.
Let's do this exercise again. I'll say it 3 times. I tried to get a little shut-eye on the break. I tried to get a little shut-eye on the break. I tried to get a little shut-eye on the break. Did you get this one? I said I tried to get a little shut-eye on the break. Let's talk about to get a little, because those sounds really blended together. To get a little, to get a, to get a. So to becomes that unstressed ta, get a combines together, get a, to get a, to get a. Now little, native speakers, including me, generally pronounce the T's as soft D's. Little, little. Some native speakers really reduce this word and it just sounds like lil, lil, get a lil, get a lil. But you can pronounce those as soft D's. Get a little, little, get a little, to get a little. And then shut eye, we turn that T into a soft D because it's between vowels, and you'll hear it on both words. Shut eye, die, die, shut eye, shut eye. Now what is shut eye? It's a noun and it means sleep. So you can say I tried to get some shut-eye, a little shut-eye, a few minutes of shut-eye. You could replace shut-eye with sleep in all those examples on the break. Now, shut-eye is commonly used for a short period of sleep, such as a nap. For example, he managed to get some shut-eye on the plane. Now notice the verb is get, so you could say he got in the past simple. He got some shut-eye on the plane. And notice that preposition I used with break, on a break. You could also say during a break. Native speakers commonly use on. And of course, a break in the context of work is a short period of time when you're not working. You can say, I called my friend on my break to see, in order to see, so the purpose clause, to see if we're still on for coffee after work. Now you could also say, hopefully I can get a few minutes of shut-eye before we meet. I'm exhausted.
Now let's get some shut-eye. New studies show that those who are under stress and don't get enough shut-eye could age up to 6 times faster than they would otherwise, giving a whole new meaning to the term beauty rest.
For others, losing shut-eye can result in hormonal imbalance, illness, and in extreme cases, death.
Now let's do a shadowing exercise so you can repeat after me and practice all these pronunciation changes. I'll say each sentence and you need to repeat after me. And I'll say each sentence 3 times. Keep your eyes peeled for the street. Keep your eyes peeled for the street. Keep your eyes peeled for the street. Are we still on for tonight? Are we still on for tonight? Are we still on for tonight? Is the museum walkable? Is the museum walkable? Is the museum walkable? Let's head out early to beat the traffic. Let's head out early to beat the traffic. Let's head out early to beat the traffic. I tried to get a little shut-eye on the break. I tried to get a little shut-eye on the break. I tried to get a little shut-eye on the break. Great job with those listening tests. The best way to understand natives is by improving your vocabulary with real phrases that natives use. And that's what we'll do right now. You'll learn 50 phrases I use every day. First, let's learn some phrases you can use when talking about sleep. This is the first thing I say in the morning. I turn to my husband and I say, "How did you sleep last night? How did you sleep last night?" This is a very common morning greeting. Simply, you can say, "Did you sleep well?" And they'll answer yes or no, but this is what natives say. "How did you sleep last night?" I also say this every day. "I was in a super deep sleep when the alarm went off." So a deep sleep is a very restful sleep. It implies that it's hard to wake up from. And super, super deep sleep. This is a casual intensifier. Natives love using it. It's the same as saying extremely. I was in an extremely deep sleep, a super deep sleep. And notice that when the alarm went off, this means when the alarm started ringing, so to go off. Don't worry about taking these notes. I summarize everything in a free lesson PDF. You can find the link in the description. And many mornings I say I was having the craziest dream when the alarm went off. So here, craziest, this could mean very strange, but it could also just mean very intense, very intense. And to provide information on how you slept, how did you sleep last night, you can say, "I slept like a baby."
I slept like a baby.
This means I slept very well, extremely well, super well. You could also say, "I slept like a rock." Like a baby, like a rock, they're very common. And this means not moving at all during sleep. And also when replying to, "How did you sleep last night?" you can say, "I was out like a light." This means I fell asleep instantly, just like turning off a light. I was out like a light. Or sometimes you might say, "I barely slept last night."
I barely slept last night.
So barely means almost not at all. It's like saying I got very little sleep. You could say, "I had a terrible sleep." So adjective sleep. I had a terrible sleep last night. It's very common to use this phrase, "I tossed and turned." Notice that pronunciation. I tossed and turned. I tossed and turned until 2 a.m. And to toss and turn, this means you couldn't fall asleep because you kept moving in bed. I tossed and turned. To be dramatic, you can say, "Let's just say I'm running on caffeine today." This means I'm very tired and only awake because of caffeine, which of course is what you get when you drink coffee. Here's a phrase you can say to someone else, maybe your husband, your roommate, your parents, your friends. Someone woke up on the wrong side of the bed. This means someone's in a bad mood this morning, or it could mean someone's grumpy this morning. Or on the opposite end, you could say, morning sleepyhead, morning sleepyhead. So that's a common greeting. It's friendly, it's playful, but we use it to greet someone who looks or acts sleepy in the morning. So if someone looks extremely tired, you can call them sleepyhead and say, morning sleepyhead, how did you sleep last night? Let's move on to laundry day. Maybe you don't do your own laundry, but it's something that is commonly discussed. Someone might say, I'm doing laundry after breakfast. Do you have anything to throw in? So notice two things. First, you do laundry. That's the collocation, that's the verb you conjugate, to do laundry. And of course, that means wash and dry dirty clothes. Now, do you have anything to throw in? This means, do you have any clothing to add to the pile of dirty laundry? Now, here's something I used to say, but then I got in trouble. I never separate my whites and colors, but then people would get mad at me. Well, usually my husband.
So I separated all the colors and whites.
So I had to change this. So to separate means you have one pile of whites, one pile of colors. Now notice my adverb of frequency, never. But you can change that to any adverb of frequency. I always, I usually, I sometimes, rarely, never. And remember, if you use she or he, you need to add that S. She never separates, or she always separates. How about this one? Do you think this can go into the dryer? And then you're either holding up a shirt or pointing at a shirt or item of clothing. Now this is used to ask, is it safe to dry this shirt, this pair of pants, using a drying machine? Now, natives call the washing machine the washer. And we call the drying machine the dryer. Here's a common laundry phrase. The laundry's still a little damp. It needs a few more minutes.
Everything's still a little damp in here.
What does this mean? A little damp. A little damp. To be damp, this means slightly wet. You can use this in other contexts. My hair is still damp, slightly wet, because my hair dryer is broken. Or I could say, don't come into the kitchen. I just washed the floors and they're still damp. They're still a little wet. Hopefully you don't say, oh no, I shrank my favorite sweater. I shrank my favorite sweater. Shrank means become smaller in size. And the verb conjugations are shrink, shrank in the past simple, and shrunk in the participle form. So you could say, my new sweater is ruined because it shrank in the wash. You can say, this shirt's a little wrinkled, a little wrinkled. Do you want me to iron it? So wrinkled, to be wrinkled, it means it has creases or lines in the shirt. And to iron, this is to use a heated device to smooth clothes. But let's review this sentence. Do you think this cream will help smooth the wrinkles under my eyes? So wrinkles also describes the lines or creases on your body. You could turn to your partner or roommate and ask, can you help me fold? So fold means to organize clothes into neat shapes. And this is obvious. Can you help me fold the laundry, which would be the clean clothes, or can you help me fold the clothes? But in this context, you don't need it because it's obvious. Or you can be more direct and just assign the task and say, I'll fold and you put away. So put away means store in drawers or closets, wherever you keep the clean clothes. And notice the structure. I'll fold. That's the future simple. you put away. That's the present form. This is casual speech, but it's used with the subject you. So when I assign myself a task and you a task. Natives use this structure a lot, but just know that future simple plus future simple is standard grammar for all subjects. Let's move on to watching a series. What series are you watching right now? Maybe you can say, that show is so bingeable. Bingeable. Repeat after me. Bingeable. Bingeable.
It is totally amateur, but it's addictively bingeable.
This means so interesting, you want to watch many episodes in a row. You can also use this as a verb. I'm binge watching that show because it's so bingeable. So the verb is to binge watch, and this means to watch many or all episodes in succession. So in a row, one after another. You could say the special effects are next level. Next level means amazing or impressive. Or there are so many plot twists and cliffhangers. 2 essential nouns to describe series. A plot twist. This is an unexpected change in the story. It can also describe books as well. A cliffhanger. This is a suspenseful ending that makes you want to watch more. Oh no, it's the end of the episode. What happens? What happens next? That's a cliffhanger. Or you could say, I was on the edge of my seat last night. If you're on the edge of your seat, it means you're literally moving your body towards the TV because you want to get closer.
I was on the edge of my seat.
This means the show was so exciting that you were either negative emotion, you were nervous about what might happen, or a positive emotion, you were thrilled or entertained. You could say, I'm rewatching it for the 3rd time. Rewatching means watching again. And notice that structure, the, ordinal number, 3rd, and then time, no S, the 3rd time. You could also say, I've rewatched it 3 times, to use a non-ordinal number and to add that S because it's more than 1. Let's review some phrases when trying something new. Maybe you're trying mountain climbing or scuba diving or yoga or any activity. You could say, I wish I had taken this up years ago. So to take up means to start a new hobby or activity, but as part of your routine. So it sounds like you're going to do it routinely, weekly or monthly. And the conjugations are take, took, taken. Now notice that structure, I wish plus past perfect. I wish I had taken this up. Now this structure is used to talk about regrets about the past, but they're impossible to change now, which is why it's the past perfect. You could say, honestly, it's easier than you think.
It's easier than you think, Chief.
And then it being the activity. Honestly, yoga is easier than you'd think. This is used to encourage someone when they think something like rock climbing or baking cookies is difficult. And notice, you'd. This is you would, you'd think. So I could say to you, honestly, learning phrasal verbs is easier than you'd think. You just need a great teacher. Do you agree with that? If you do, put that's right, put that's right in the comments. Now, right before you try that new activity, right before you climb the mountain or put the cookies in the oven, you can say, okay, here goes nothing.
Okay, here goes nothing.
This is said when trying something with uncertainty or nervous. You don't know if you'll enjoy it. You don't know if the cookies will be good or not. Here goes nothing. It's like saying, I don't know if I'll succeed or fail, but I'm going to do it anyway. Now, if you fail, you might say to your friend, remind me to never do that again. Remind me to never do that again. This is a somewhat humorous phrase, and it's used after a bad experience. You hurt your arm rock climbing, or the cookies tasted terrible. And notice this is in the imperative, remind me. To encourage you, I can say, you should give it a shot. To give something a shot means try. So I could say you should give diving a shot. You should give yoga a shot. Now let's review some phrases you can use when you lose something. You can be looking in different rooms and then say, I swear I put my passport in this drawer. I swear means I'm very sure. You could also say I'm positive, I'm confident, or I know I put my passport in this drawer. And notice that conjugation is irregular, is put for all conjugations. Or after you've been looking for a few minutes or hours, you can say, I can't find my wallet anywhere.
I can't find my keys or wallet anywhere.
Anywhere emphasizes the inability to locate the wallet. You could say, I've looked everywhere and I can't find it, my wallet, anywhere. I personally lose my sunglasses a lot. And as I'm looking for them, I say, my sunglasses have got to be here somewhere. So this is the same as saying my sunglasses must be here somewhere, have got to be here. Or you can ask someone, have you seen my, and then the lost item. Have you seen my AirPods? And this is in the present perfect because it's a past action. Yeah, I saw your AirPods this morning. And then there's a result in the present. Well, where are they? Tell me where they are so they won't be lost anymore. And as you're looking and you can't find your item, you can say, seriously, this is driving me crazy.
This is driving me crazy.
So driving me crazy means making me very frustrated. So you want to say this with some frustration. You can use this in any context. Seriously, the traffic is driving me crazy. This computer bug is driving me crazy. My kids are driving me crazy. Here are some phrases you can use when packing for a trip. You might say, I'm a last-minute packer.
I'm always doing everything last minute.
Last minute means completed at the latest possible time. Maybe just minutes before you need to go to the airport or the train station. And notice here, I'm a packer. Packer, this is a noun. It's a person who packs. And then last minute is the adjective to describe the person who packs, the packer. Alternatively, you can say, I always pack at the last minute. It's the same thing, just different sentence structure. Or, I'm worried I underpacked. Underpacked means you didn't pack enough. I'm worried I overpacked. I packed too much. Or you can ask your travel buddy, do you have room for my jacket? My bag is already stuffed. So have room, this means do you have space? And stuffed means completely full, can't fit anything more. Or after, you can celebrate and say, I'm done packing. I just need to double check my packing list. Is this something you do?
I just wanted to double check that.
To double check means to check for the second time. Notice that sentence structure, the ordinal number, time with no plural. Here are some phrases you can use when taking care of pets. You can say, I always take Daisy, the name of your dog or pet. I always take Daisy for a walk after work. Now this is one common structure. You could also say, I always walk Daisy. I always walk Daisy, or I always walk my dog after work. Or you could say, I always take Daisy to the park after work. Maybe you need to say this. She won't stop barking at the delivery guy.
He won't stop barking.
Or he or my dog won't stop barking. So barking, of course, that's the sound dogs make. And notice here, stop plus gerund. But you can use stop plus infinitive. Do you know the difference? I stopped to give Daisy a treat. I stopped doing something. I stopped working to start an action, to give Daisy a treat. Maybe someone asks you, Do you feed her or do you feed him? Do you feed your dog, your cat, your turtle, both wet and dry food? These are the categories of food in North America. Wet food is canned food. Dry food, that is kibble. If you're familiar with that word, it's another term for the food. Oh, we're out of kibble. I have to get some more kibble. It's dry food for a pet. Or, commonly with pets, she hates getting her nails cut. So my dog hates getting, because she's receiving the action, of course she's not doing the action, she's receiving the action, her nails, because dogs have nails as well, cut. Now cut means trimmed. You can use either one. She hates getting her nails cut or trimmed. Now, if the dog is being shy or the cat is being shy, you can say she'll warm up to you if you give her some treats.
I'll warm up after a couple nights with you.
So to warm up to someone, this can be used with people and kids especially. She'll begin to like you or she'll begin to be friendly towards you if you give her some treats. Great job. Now let's keep going and you'll learn 50 more phrases I use every day. First, let's review some phrases you can use when asking for directions. How about this one? Why don't we just ask someone where it is? This suggests asking for help instead of guessing, and something I say to my husband every time we're out.
Why don't we just ask?
Or this one, is the museum walking distance from here? Walking distance, this means close enough to walk. And of course, you can use this with any location. Now, if it isn't walking distance, you can say, we should take an Uber. So notice here, we have should, which is a modal of suggestion, plus base verb, should take. You should comment, let's go. So my modal of suggestion plus base verb. And why? Because commenting supports my channel. So make sure you comment, let's go, put let's go in the comments. You can ask someone, what street are we on? Notice here, you use on, that's the preposition, plus street name. We're on Fifth Avenue or Main Street. Or one I say a lot, I think we're lost. We're lost. Notice that structure, to be lost.
Sorry, I think we're lost.
Now let's talk about shopping and customer service. Excuse me, how much is this? Notice that excuse me is a polite way to start your question, and this is used to ask for a price.
Excuse me, how much is this?
Or this, do you have this? Maybe this t-shirt, this dress, this shirt in medium, in medium. So notice preposition is in, and then you can have size or color in yellow. Where can I try this on? This is asking where is the changing room or the fitting room. Or here's a good one. Is this t-shirt, this bag, is this included in the sale? Now, if it is included in the sale and you buy it, after you can say, I don't need a bag. I don't need a bag, because you brought your own reusable bag.
I don't need a bag.
Now let's review when you're at a cafe. You can ask them, what time do you close today? What time do you close today?
What time do you close?
Or after you make your purchase, you can say, I don't need a receipt. Save some paper. I don't need a receipt. When you walk in, you can ask, what's the Wi-Fi password? You can even just say, what's the Wi-Fi? They'll assume you want the password.
Yeah, what's the Wi-Fi password?
Or, of course, is there somewhere I can plug in my laptop or my phone? So plug in, connect to an outlet, a power source. This is one I have to use. Sorry, but there's no toilet paper. Now notice here, sorry, I'm not apologizing. This is a casual way to get someone's attention. Sorry, there's no toilet paper. Let's talk about ordering coffee. Here's how I order it. I'll get a, and then the order. I'll get a small cappuccino. That's what I order. What about you?
Just have cappuccino.
Now maybe you'll specify, can you make it, so prepare, make, can you make it the small cappuccino? Can you make it extra hot? Or you clarify, Actually, I'll get it to go. So to go, of course, you're going to take it with you, wherever you go. Here's a great one. Hold the whipping cream. Hold. So notice this is in the imperative. You're giving an instruction, and hold means don't include the whipping cream. Don't add the whipping cream. Or you're looking at these muffins and you ask, what kind of muffins are these? So you're asking about the flavor of the muffin.
What kind of muffins are these?
Now let's talk about plans with friends. Are you free this weekend? And if they are, you can say, let's grab coffee after work. So grab means get, have, or even go for. Let's go for coffee after work.
You want to grab a coffee or something after work?
You can say to your friend, we need to catch up soon. Catch up means talk and reconnect. Or simply ask, what are you up to this weekend? So up to means doing. What are you doing this weekend? What are you up to this weekend?
What are you up to this weekend?
And to reply, I'm just relaxing at home this weekend, the present continuous. And notice up to is not used in the reply. It's only the question. Now let's move on to the salon or the barbers. You can say, I'll call you later. I'm just getting a haircut. So you can use the last part if you want. I'm getting a haircut. To get a haircut, and it's in the present continuous, is taking place now. So you tell the stylist, just the usual today. You can even say this at your favorite cafe. Now this is to ask for your regular cut or style. So at your favorite cafe, it's your regular drink, your regular order.
That's the usual, coach.
Or you can say nothing fancy, just a trim. So nothing fancy means nothing new, unique, or exciting, just something simple like a trim. A trim is a small cut just to keep the hair tidy.
Just a trim.
Or you can say to them instead, just clean up the split ends. So the split ends, that's the dead part of your hair. And to clean up, tidy, fix, remove. So just cut the split ends. Or you can ask them, can you add some layers? So layers, this is a haircut with different lengths for texture and volume. Now let's talk about healthcare and appointments. You might call or simply open the door and then say, do you accept walk-ins? Walk-ins. So a walk-in, this means that there's no appointment needed. So if they say yes, it means you don't need to make an appointment. And you can use that at your hair salon or your nail salon as well.
Do you do walk-ins?
Maybe you say, I need to reschedule my appointment. So notice if you add re before the verb, it means schedule it again. So we use this to say you need to change the time or date. Or you call and ask, are there any appointments available today? Maybe you're really not feeling well today, or your tooth is very sore and you want to see the dentist. This is a great question to ask. When will my results be in? Be in. This means be available. Or you could say to them, I need to update my address on file. So on file, this means in the clinic's records. They have a record of your information. And if you update it, you provide them with your most recent phone number, insurance information, or address. Now let's review some expressions for chores and errands. You can say, we're out of milk. We're out of milk. If you're out of something, so the structure is to be out of, this means you have none left.
We're out of milk.
Or you can ask someone, can you give me a hand with dinner? You ask your kids, your parents, your roommate, your spouse. And to give me a hand, of course, this means, can you help me with dinner? You ask someone, are you picking the kids up? Are you picking the kids up?
Are you picking up the kids today?
Or can we stop by the bank on the way home? So stop by, this means visit quickly. Can we visit the bank quickly on the way home? You can say, I'm taking the car into the garage tomorrow. Into the garage, This means for repairs or checkups. The garage is the location where your car is repaired by a mechanic or trained professional. Now let's review some parenting expressions. You might say, remember that parent-teacher night is on Thursday. So here, parent-teacher night, this is the name of a meeting between parents and teachers, which commonly happens throughout the year.
Don't forget, parent-teacher conferences are next week.
Or you say, Cindy, the name of your child, Cindy has a play date at Ashley's tonight. So Ashley's, notice there's a possessive because it means Ashley's home tonight, but it's implied, so you don't need to add it. And a play date, this is an arranged time for kids to play.
Miguel had a play date.
Or you say, what time is soccer practice again? Again, notice you add again, which implies you already asked this question, but you forget, so now you're asking it again. Or an important one, did you check Ollie's homework? Did you? So check, this means review or verify. Did you review his homework? Did you verify that he did his homework? So it depends on the context. Or you can say, I signed Sheldon up for piano lessons. Now notice here, you probably know sign up, which means register or enroll, in this case for piano lessons, but you can sign someone up. I signed my son up. I signed my friend up. Now let's review some expressions you can use with household problems, which of course are bound to happen. You might say, the dishwasher is leaking. Maybe the dishwasher is leaking again to imply this has happened before. The dishwasher is leaking. So leaking, the verb is to leak in the present continuous, and this means water is coming out where it shouldn't. That is leaking, not a good thing. Or you say, the power went out for over an hour this morning. So here, the power went out. So the verb is to go out, and then what? The power, that's the subject. So this means the electricity stopped. So everything turned off and went dark. The power went out.
Power went out again.
Or you can say, my printer ran out of ink. Ran out of ink. So here, to run out of, this is conjugated in the past simple, ran out of. This means used up. So completely used up. Finished. There is 0 left. Or the oven is acting up again. And of course, you can replace the oven with whatever subject you want. My computer, my microphone is acting up again. Now, the verb here is to act up, is a phrasal verb. It's conjugated in the present continuous. This means not working properly.
The oven's been acting up.
Or you can say, we need to replace the washer and dryer. Now, replace means get new ones. Maybe they're not working properly, they're acting up, or they're just really old. Now that you've expanded your vocabulary and you're more comfortable with fast English, let's test your listening skills again. But you won't be listening to me, you'll be listening to 5 different native speakers so you can get comfortable with different accents and different styles of speech. You'll listen to a short clip and then you need to complete the sentence. Are you ready for the first clip? Remember, you need to fill in the missing words.
It's worth mentioning we're going to have to be pretty frank about the human body and some of the more icky parts when studying outbreaks. It's worth mentioning we're going to have to be pretty frank about the human body and some of the more icky parts when studying outbreaks.
How'd you do with this one? She said it's worth mentioning we're going to have to be pretty frank about the human body and some of the more icky parts when studying outbreaks. Did you get that? Let's review the pronunciation. So notice were. Native speakers like using contractions and we pronounce them in an unstressed way. Were. This is, of course, we are. Now she said going to, but as you may know, native speakers commonly reduce going to as gonna, but this is in spoken English only. Now, native speakers also combine sounds together. So here we have some of the. Instead of saying of, you can just do an unstressed some of the. So it sounds like one word. Repeat after me, some of the. Let's talk about some grammar and vocabulary. Notice one of your missing words was mentioning, and that's because to be worth plus gerund verb. So I wanted to remind you, or perhaps help you learn, that you need the gerund with this expression. So worth is a gerund verb. To be worth, doing something. For example, it's worth to be. It is, as a contraction, it's worth subscribing to JForrest English. Now, if a friend asks you, should I subscribe to JForrest English? You can say, yes, it's worth it. It's worth it. What's the it? It's worth subscribing. So it represents the gerund. It's worth subscribing. And if you want to sound like a native, you can add totally. It's totally worth it. It's totally worth it. Do you agree with that? If you do, put that's right, put that's right in the comments. Let's talk about to be frank. Frank. This means to speak honestly, directly, or openly, often about something uncomfortable. We often use this to start a sentence. To be frank, I thought you were rude to your mother. So that might be something that's uncomfortable to tell someone. And she used pretty to be pretty frank. This is simply an intensifier. Now, did you hear the word icky? Icky? This is an informal way of something as unpleasant, gross, or distasteful. Cleaning the bathroom, it's so icky. Wouldn't you agree? Or you could say, you have some icky stuff on your shirt, some gross stuff. Are you ready for your next listening exercise? Remember, you need to complete the missing words. You'll hear it twice.
I've level with you. Before we started making this movie, I'd never been on a pair of skis in my life. I've level with you. Before we started making this movie, I'd never been on a pair of skis in my life.
Could you complete the missing words? I've got to level with you. Before we started making this movie, I'd never been on a pair of skis in my life. Just like going to becomes gonna, got to becomes gotta in spoken English. And again, those contractions which are difficult to hear, I had, a very soft D, I'd. Now, instead of saying of, you can reduce that to just simply but then combine them together. Paraskis. Now let's talk about those missing words. To level with someone. This means to share a surprising or harsh truth. A harsh truth is an uncomfortable truth. So you can say, I have to level with you. I don't like ice cream. Now, Americans commonly say, I gotta level with you. I gotta level with you. I have to level with you. I gotta level with you. They're the same thing. And the fact that I don't like ice cream could be a surprising truth. I gotta level with you. Or you can say, I have to level with you. I gotta level with you. Your performance has been slipping, going down, slipping. So this is a harsh truth. It's honest and direct. Because of that, you can also use that expression we learned, to be frank. I have to be frank with you. Your performance has been slipping. Here's your next listening exercise. You'll hear it twice.
I think a lot of people will reflect on their previous year and think, you know what is the one thing I want to work on? I think a lot of people will reflect on their previous year and think, you know what is the one thing I want to work on?
How'd you do with this one? Was it easy or difficult for you? I think a lot of people will reflect on their previous year and think, you know what? What is the one thing I want to work on? Let's talk about those pronunciation changes. A lot of becomes a lotta, lotta, a lotta. Now, reflect on, because you have that T sound, you can transfer it to the next sound and say reflect on, reflect on. So it sounds like one word. You can do this with work on, work on, work on. So it sounds like one word. You know what may have been difficult to hear because it becomes unstressed. Yeah, you know what? You know what? And want to becomes wanna, wanna. Now I wanted you to pay attention to reflect on and work on so you notice those prepositions. When you're learning vocabulary, you should also learn the preposition that completes the verb, because if you get the preposition wrong, it won't sound correct. So to reflect on something, this means to think deeply or carefully about something, usually before making decisions. For example, after the meeting, I reflected on the feedback my boss gave me. Maybe he had to level with you. Maybe he had to give you some frank feedback, honest and direct. And you reflected on that, which is a mature thing to do. Let's talk about, you know what? You know what? This is an interjection. So it's used to introduce a thought, or it's simply to create a pause in a conversation. So you can say, we should host a party for your sister's birthday, but that might sound very abrupt. So if you want to transition or create a pause, introduce an idea, you can use an interjection. You know what? We should host a party for your sister's birthday. So by saying, you know what? You get someone's attention and then they're ready to hear your idea. Get ready for the next listening exercise. You'll hear it twice.
Watch this video and get the scoop on a little-known storytelling technique that'll crank up the believability of your message. Watch this video and get the scoop on a little-known storytelling technique that'll crank up the believability of your message.
Was this more difficult for you? Watch this video and get the scoop on a little-known storytelling technique that'll crank up the believability of your message. Instead of saying scoop on a with pauses, you can pronounce this as one word. Scoop on a, scoop on a, scoop on a, scoop on a. Little may have been difficult to hear because that's not how native speakers say it. We say little, little. That'll is a contraction of that will, that'll. Let's review the vocabulary. The scoop, do you know this one? This means insider information or the latest secret or exclusive details. Can you get the scoop on who's getting the promotion? So I'm asking you to get the exclusive information or the latest secret details. Or I could ask what? What's the scoop on the promotion? Do you know the latest details? Or I could say, who knows the scoop on the promotion? So who has the secret or latest details? What if I said to you, ooh, it's cold in here, crank up the heat? What would you do to the heat? Or how about, I love this song, crank it up, crank it up. What would you do? To crank up means to increase the intensity, volume, or level of something. Now in this case, the something was the believability, which is a noun. And this is the quality or state of being believable, which is the adjective. So to be believable. I could say to my friend, you didn't win the lottery? You were so believable. I believed my friend because she's believable. Or I could say, to be frank, the story lacked believability. So it lacked the quality of being believable. Or I could say, I have to level with you. I gotta level with you. The story lacked believability. So look for ways you can mix and match all the vocabulary that you're learning. One more listening exercise, you'll hear it twice.
All right, we've been planning for months. Let's do it. It's go time. All right, we've been planning for months. Let's do it. It's go time.
Did you get that first word? All right. We've been planning for months. Let's do it. It's go time. Now, you may not have heard that first word again because of reducing sounds. So instead of saying all right, native speakers commonly say all right, all right, all right. So it can be very unstressed or a little bit unstressed. It depends on the speaker. This one was quite unstressed. We've is of course we have. For sounds like fur, very unstressed. And do it, to get rid of that pause, you can add a very soft w. Do it, do it, do it. But when you say it as one word, you don't hear it. Do it, do it, do it. All right is used as both an interjection or confirmation. So if someone says, let's meet at 2 to discuss the project, you can say, all right, to confirm. Or you can start the discussion by saying, all right, let's review the sales reports. So in this case, it's an interjection. It gets attention and it signals readiness to start. Let's look at let's do it. I say this a lot, so maybe you've heard it from me. This is an informal way to signal readiness to act. I could say, today you'll learn 20 phrasal verbs. Are you ready? And you can reply back and say, let's do it, Jennifer. Or your friend could ask you, should we sign up for that cooking class? And you say, let's do it, let's do it. Let's look at it's go time. I love this one. This is an informal way to say, now is the time to act. This is the moment we've been waiting for. And it's commonly used with a lot of energy and excitement. So you can imagine before a sports game or a big presentation, someone says, it's go time. Did you know that natives misunderstand fast English just like you? Don't believe me? Let's watch this clip.
Do you want the cancer?
The what?
Do you want the cancer?
Notice how George Clooney didn't understand her question at all. He said, the what?
The what?
Are you also unsure or confused by her question? He still doesn't understand after she repeats it, so she says it again slowly. Now let's see if you can get it too.
Do you want the cancer?
The what?
Do you want the cancer? The can, sir?
Problem number 1, natives use connected speech. That's why can, sir, sounded like cancer, because they are the same sounds. So when you don't put a pause between them, do you want the can, sir? Do you want the cancer? 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 It's exactly the same. This makes for a memorable scene in a movie, but it happens in real life every day. Let's find out what you hear in this clip.
And why'd you lie?
It started with then. Did you hear the rest? Let's listen again.
And why'd you lie? And why'd you lie?
He said, then why'd you lie? Why did you lie? Then why'd you lie? But that was very difficult to hear, right? A native would definitely misunderstand this too. Why did you sounds like why'd you? Why'd you? In connected speech, why'd you? But notice, we have Jew, but then the next word is lie, lie. And July sounds like the month July, June, July, August. So the combination of why did you lie can absolutely sound like the question, why July? Why not June? Why not August? Why July? I'm going to say both, and you tell me if I'm saying number 1 or number 2. Why July? Which one? I said number 2. I'll do this again. Why July? Which one? I said number 2. Why July? Which one? I said number one, but let me tell you, there's no way a native speaker would distinguish between the two. So what's the solution? Of course, you can simply ask the person to repeat it again and maybe specify slowly. Or another great solution is to understand the context. In the context of a beverage cart coming down the aisle on an airplane, maybe you can understand the context is a can of soda. Or maybe with the why'd you lie, maybe they were just discussing a lie that someone told. So the question, why'd you lie, you understand the context based on what you were discussing. Let's see what you hear in this clip.
Did you call her?
That was fast, even for a native. What did she say? Let's listen again.
Did you call her? Did you call her?
She said, did you call her? But in connected speech, we can take call her and it becomes caller, caller. But this may cause confusion because the same pronunciation is a caller, which is a dog collar. Now in this clip, did you was also connected as did you, did you. Did you call her? Did you call her? The solution to understanding fast English is getting comfortable with the connections that natives make. Let's listen to some clips and see if you can identify the connected speech.
Give me a break.
The speaker said, a break.
Give me a break. Give me a break.
Did you get it? Did you? Did you? Did you? Did you get it? Gimme, gimme, give me as a reduction is gimme, gimme.
Give me a break.
How about this clip?
I gotta go.
I go.
I gotta go. I gotta go.
She said, I gotta go. Was that easy for you? Most students, even at a more beginner level, know that got to as a reduction is gotta. A reduction is a form of connected speech where you take two words and it sounds like one. This isn't something that native speakers think about. I don't think to myself, I'm going to use the reduction. It just comes out naturally because it's easier to say gotta instead of got to. And that's the only reason why natives use it, even though it definitely makes speech more difficult to understand, even for natives. That's why doing this practice is so important. How about this one?
What do you want?
Want?
What do you want? What do you want?
He said, what do you want? So here, what do you is a very common reduction of three words that sounds like one. Repeat after me. What do ya? What do ya? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? How about this clip?
So, what you want to do today?
Did you get the full clip? So, do today.
So, what you want to do today? So, what you want to do today?
He said, so, whatcha? What do you? Now it sounded like whatcha, whatcha. So you may ask someone, what you doing? What you doing? And notice that G at the end was also dropped. What you doing? But remember, it can also sound like what ya. So we have the same three words, what do you, and two different reductions that are both common. What ya? Whatcha. Whatya is more common, but definitely you will hear whatcha. And that wasn't the only reduction because we also had want to, wanna. So you can say, what you wanna do tonight? What do you wanna do tonight? Exactly the same meaning, different pronunciation, and very different from what do you want to do tonight? Let's try this one.
Well, it could have been worse, right? Could have been my money.
This was longer. Did you get it? It been worse, right? Been my money.
Well, it could have been worse, right? Could have been my money. Well, it could have been worse, right? Could have been my money.
He said, it could have been worse, right? could have been my money. Could have, which is grammatical, is reduced to coulda. Coulda is not a word. It is the way that the words could have are naturally pronounced in fast, casual English. So notice we're taking that entire word have and we're reducing it to but you're connecting it to coulda. The same is done with should have, shoulda, would have, woulda. Another thing to notice in this clip is how the subject was dropped. Natives often drop subjects and auxiliary verbs. This may be confusing for students, but natives generally understand based on context, even when grammar isn't always there. So full grammatical structure would be, it could have been my money. That's full structure and clear pronunciation. Unfortunately, for everyone, including natives, this will often sound like could have been my money. Let's try this clip.
I'm gonna be late for homeroom.
I'm B for homeroom.
I'm gonna be late for homeroom. I'm gonna be late for homeroom.
She said, I'm gonna be late for homeroom. So here we have the reduction going to gonna. Most students know that. Just remember, this isn't a word, it is the pronunciation of going to in fast spoken English. And did you notice how late? You may not hear that T. So it may cause a miscommunication because it will sound like late, late. So it may sound like the word lay. The only thing is a native speaker would use a flap sound, which means we stop the sound, late. Now let's listen to this one.
I'm just gonna be a little late.
I'm just a little.
I'm just gonna be a little late. I'm just gonna be a little late.
Alec Baldwin said, I'm just gonna be a little late. So again, we have gonna, going to is gonna. Now in this case, because late came at the end of the sentence, it's more likely you'll hear the T, but it was still a softer T. It wasn't as pronounced as you'll hear it in a dictionary audio clip where it will say late. In real spoken English, it sounds more like late or late. A very soft T, even at the end of a sentence. Now let's see how you do with this clip.
Say, talent's a dime a dozen.
Did you get it? See talents?
Say, talent's a dime a dozen. Say, talent's a dime a dozen.
He said, see talents, a dime a dozen. A dime a dozen. Now here you may hear the individual words, but not understand what it means because this is an idiom, a dime a dozen. This doesn't have a literal meaning, so you can't take the words and understand the meaning. A dime a dozen means very common, easy to find, so therefore it's not special or valuable. Everyone's talented, you need more than that. Talent's a dime a dozen. Let's try this one.
Really? Get out of town.
Did you get it? Really? Get?
Really? Get out of town. Really? Get out of town.
He said, really? Get out of town. Get out of town. So here we have a reduction out of, outa, outa. But again, you need to understand the expression to know the meaning because the individual words don't have a literal meaning. The expression is get out of town. This is what you can say. That means that's surprising, or I'm surprised, or that's interesting news. So if your friend, sister, husband says, I got a promotion and it comes with a new company car, and you want to express your surprise, you can say, get out of town, get out of town, with that reduction, outa. Get out of town. Get out of town. A new car. That's amazing.
Get out of town.
So learning connected speech is important, but also learning advanced grammar, phrasal verbs, idioms, and expressions is so important to understand natives. How about this one?
I'm not hangry, Tito.
Did you hear it? I'm not, Tito.
I'm not hangry, Tito. I'm not hangry, Tito.
She said or exclaimed, I'm not hangry. I'm not hangry, Tito. So hangry is a relatively new word in the English language. It's a combination of hungry and angry. So it means that you're becoming angry because you're feeling hungry. Do you ever get hangry?
Hungry and angry? You hangry, Claire.
I'm not hangry, Tito.
Now, if a native speaker uses this with their grandparents who are older, or a boss or a neighbor who is older, they may not understand it because new words may be unfamiliar to certain people, generally older generations, but it can also be a younger person as well. But younger people, they usually know the new trends, the new words. So now you know what you need to do to understand natives and avoid those miscommunications. You need to keep listening to natives, study connected speech, study fast speech, expand your vocabulary, and all of my lessons will help you do just that. So put let's go, put let's go in the comments if you want another lesson. And of course, make sure you like this lesson, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. And here's another lesson I know you'll love. Watch it now.